Hey guys, this is Android Nub, and here's my top 8 list of best MMORPGs on Android. Not everyone will agree with the order, but it's just my personal opinion. Alright, here we go guys. Starting with number 8, we have Armed Heroes, also known as Blackgate Inferno. It's published by Entertainment Game Labs, so this is a darker themed hack and slash MMORPG. When you start off, you get to choose between 8 different classes, all of which have different abilities, different skills. You can move in this game with a joystick. There's quests, it has auto walk, which automatically guides you to the next quest. The game is instance based, where you can party with up to 3 other people. Combat's action oriented. There's quite a bit of different missions to go through. Graphics are quite good, and it's a cool MMORPG to check out. At number 7, we have Ragnarok Valkyrie, published by Neo Scion. So Ragnarok is a pretty old PC MMORPG that came out quite a long time ago. This is the Android version. I'm not sure if it's the exact same game, but the graphics and combat look exactly the same as the original Ragnarok game. There's a lot of quests to do, and you can do stuff like craft and upgrade equipment. There's 4 different classes to choose from, and the game has a very high player base. There's quite a bit of different levels to go through, monsters to fight, skills to increase. It looks a little outdated, but fans of the PC Ragnarok Online will probably enjoy this game. Next up we have number 6, Iruna Online, published by Asobimo. Iruna Online is one of Asobimo's first MMORPGs that came out a long time ago. It looks a little old, but the graphics are still pretty decent. Kinda looks like an old PS2 game. The game still has a very high player base, tons of people in the starter area grinding away. The combat is click and point. You target an enemy and your character automatically attacks. However, this game isn't that beginner friendly. There's quests, but the game doesn't really guide you where to go. You gotta figure out a lot of stuff on your own, but it still seems like an interesting MMORPG. At number 5, we have Celeste Arca, also published by Asobimo. Celeste Arca is a pretty cool MMORPG. It's more beginner friendly compared to Iruna Online, and the game also has a fairly high player base. There's a lot of quests in this game and some interesting story elements like cutscenes. Combat is turn-based, which is kinda like Final Fantasy. There's some interesting boss fights and lots of other stuff to do. I think the UI could use some improvement in this game, but overall it's still a decent game to check out. Next up, number 4, we have Pocket Legends, published by Space Time Games. Pocket Legends is a really old game, but it's still one of the best. Although it's old and the graphics are a little outdated, the player base in this game is extremely high. There's still tons of new players joining the game every day, and the servers are just packed with people. When you start off, there's quite a bit of different classes. This game is super beginner friendly. The game tells you where to go and what to do, and there's tons of quests and tons of content. One great thing about this game is you don't have to worry about finding people to party with. When you go to a map to do a quest, the game automatically parties you up with other players in the same area. So it's like you never had to worry about finding a party. There's pretty much people everywhere to party with. It's really fun. Combat's kind of like hack and slash, but it's also kind of like point and click. But I also wanted to mention this game can also be substituted by Space Legends, which is Space Time Games' space version of Pocket Legends. Basically a sci-fi space themed version of the exact same game. And there's also Dark Legends, which is like a dark, bloody vampire version of the Legends series. So all these games are very similar. I'd say they're all tied at number 4. So you should just choose the one that interests you the most. Alright guys, top 3. At number 3, we have Arcane Legends, published by Space Time Games, who also made Pocket Legends and all those other Legends games, but this is the newest one with a fantasy theme. It's pretty much improved in every way. The graphics are better, the gameplay is better. It's a really good MMORPG. Like the other games, the player base is extremely high and also groups you up with other players in the same map, so it's really easy to find a party. And it's just so much more fun than playing by yourself. Graphics are colorful and nice, and the combat is action oriented. There's 3 different classes. It's an MMORPG where you can play casually or hardcore. Tons of quests, tons of levels, and tons of equipment and items to get. Really awesome game. Number 2 is Babel Online, published by Asobimo. This is Asobimo's newest and most popular MMORPG. The graphics in this game are absolutely gorgeous. One of the best graphics in any Android MMORPG. It looks similar to like the 3D Final Fantasy style. The combat is action oriented. You got joystick to move around and a button to attack. There's a couple of different classes and job changes, and also a lot of skills. You can also roll, which helps you dodge attacks. This game has a very high player base. The game isn't that beginner friendly, but Babel isn't that complex. There are quests you can get, and also Babel could use some better UI but this game is really cool, really has that console quality feel. Overall, Avabel is a really high quality game with amazing graphics and fun gameplay. And finally, number 1, taking first place is Order and Chaos Online, published by Gameloft. While all the other games in the list were free, this one actually costs us $6.99. But this game is as close as you could get to a real PC MMORPG. Although I did to say this game is an absolute World of Warcraft clone, but that's not necessarily a bad thing, especially because Android doesn't have much MMORPGs. When you start off, there's 5 different races to choose from and 4 different classes. Graphics are really good and it really plays out like a real MMORPG. You start off in a town and you get quests to kill monsters and level up, and then you gradually move on to new towns. There's a big map, lots of different towns and different places to go to. Combat is point and click, but you can move while attacking. This game's really top notch, really high quality, ton of content, a lot to do, and the player base is still fairly high, even though the game is paid. If you're looking for the best hardcore MMORPG experience, you have to try Order and Chaos Online. Anyway guys, that's my top 8 list of best MMORPGs. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to subscribe for more videos, and thanks for watching.